Hi there, I'm Martha Van Dam. Welcome to Living Beyond. So, today, a little bit of more talk about dealing with those emotions, particularly those big ones that come up when we find ourselves in a spot where immediately we're feeling something strong, like some sense of threat, like I'm in trouble, or somebody doesn't like what I'm going to say, or there's not going to be happy with something about what I'm saying or doing or being. Often this kind of situation comes up a lot in our personal relationships, so particularly our romantic relationships or in our parenting relationships. So, like parenting your teens, parenting your young children, dealing with elderly parents or friends. So, this just happens in so many relationships. They say something, and we get a feeling that flies all over us. And how many times have you had the situation happen where you have that feeling and it's just almost a nanosecond before you're saying something? A little later, you'll look back and you'll think, oh, why did I not think before I spoke? Why did that fly out of my mouth so fast? So, what we want to do, and this will help in so many of your relationships, what we want to do is help you create some distance, some space between the moment that you hear a thing or see a thing that creates a big emotion and the time when you choose how you're going to respond. What tends to happen is that space is about this big, and we hear a thing, boom, comes the response. And you and I both know very rarely is that response the one that we really want to happen. It very rarely is the one that's going to be the most beneficial in that circumstance. So, what we're after is creating this space. The thing happens, and then some space in here for me to take a breath and think about how I want to respond, and then the response. It's real easy to say, but not real easy to do. So, pro tip number one for how to do that. You know, what we're after is narration. That's the short word of it. But what it looks like is this. You know how you have watched movies and there's a person speaking over the scene, narrating. And she came down from the staircase, worry on her mind. Or you've read a book where someone is narrating the story. I want you to think about what it would look like for you to sort of narrate your life at least part of the time. Now, in a way, I know what I'm asking you to do is talk to yourself. And that can be awkward or a little odd sometimes. But there are also other times when you're driving to work, you're driving to pick up the kids, you're in the house by yourself. And in those times, you could practice narrating your life. So she is going into the kitchen to cook her meal, and she is feeling adventuresome about the new meal she is about to try. Or she is feeling exhausted and tired and resentful that she needs to be cooking yet again another meal. You see, a narration. Narration helps us to get into the habit of observing what we're thinking, observing what we're experiencing. When we've got no space, there's no observation that's happening. It's just see the thing, react to the thing. But if we can create some time for observation, otherwise known as narration, then we're enlarging that space. That space is invaluable because in that space you can take a couple of deep breaths. You can help your nervous system calm down. If you need to, you can go outside for a walk or a brisk run. If there are some tools that you've learned that help to calm you down and help you to think more clearly, you can do those things. Like if you do tapping, EFT, emotional freedom technique, if that's something you do. If prayer is something that is important to you, that can give you a moment to go be by yourself. I don't care if it's in a bathroom. You can go and be by yourself for a moment and pray. If you do, as we said, the deep breathing, any journaling, if you want to, if something journaling is something that's helpful to you, then you can get away for a few minutes in that space and you can write down what it is that you're thinking to help your mind process, so that then when you come back and you have that conversation, you are better prepared. You're in a better mind frame. You have thought through a little bit, and so it's not just the first thought that pops out of your mind. that you're now going to share. So, narration. Start narrating your life. Pretend that you are the overvoice in a movie. Your life is a movie. The experience you're having is a scene in a movie. Practice it during the day so that it becomes a little bit more natural. It becomes a lot more natural when you get into some of those high-flying circumstances. You're in the car, you're taking kids to football and taekwondo and tennis and off to school. Do it out loud with them. Let them be a part of it. The more it becomes a part, the more natural it becomes. So the mom was in the car and she was taking the 3 kids to their practices. They'll think you're crazy at first, but then watch them chime in. That can be an awful lot of fun too. So try it. See what happens. Begin to narrate some of the things that you're doing and see how you are observing what you are doing. Neurologically, you're teaching yourself a new skill while you're doing it. And anytime we teach ourselves new skills or we learn new skills, new little neural connections are forming. Very helpful for our peace of mind, for our frame of mind, and helpful for learning new skills. All right, get at it. I would love it if you would contact me in some way, either DM me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or leave a message on YouTube, and I'd love to see how this works for you. I hope that it works well, and just remember, you're creating space, and in that space, you can be able to keep yourself from overreacting and begin to watch your relationships and your communications settle in better. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.